Thank you so much for joining us, Har. Christine Sinclair started with the Canadian team way back in 2000. 2000, full stop. There's no and after that, when she was 16 years old. And since then, she has made 329 appearances and scored 190 goals. We know the numbers, but what is her legacy going to be, not just in Canada, but women's football?
I mean, she's the GOAT. She's done it all. She's represented Canada for over 2 decades on and off the pitch. I'd say she's, arguably not just one of Canada's best soccer players, which she is. She's one of Canada's top athletes that we've ever had in any sport. So her legacy is inspiring young kids to play on the women's national team. We've had players that have grown up watching her that are now her teammates, Jordan Heidema, Julia Grosso, Lawrence Buchanan, just to name a few. So she's really inspired an entire country with how well she's played and how well she's carried herself. So her legacy is a lot more than what she's done on the pitch with 190 goals, winning gold, bronze. But it's more like her character and what she has done and what she means to our country that I think people will remember.
You've covered the Canada national team for a while. What's the standout moment for you from Christine Sinclair's career? In all the years you've been watching her, is it possible to pick a moment?
Yeah, I started in 2012, so I'm thinking, wow, that's a long time ago. But I have to go back to the one game that everyone talks about in Manchester at Old Trafford. She scored the hat trick. We all know Canada lost to the States in controversy, if you will. But that game really put Canada on the map. It really got people talking about Christine Sinclair as one of the best players in the sport. It helped propel Canada to winning bronze, their first major medal at a major tournament. So I think that game, just her putting Canada on her back and saying, we're not going to lose. Now, ultimately they did. She had the hat trick. But I think that's when Canada finally took major notice of the national team. And then we've seen what they've done since the London Olympics. But that game, to me, being in that stadium, watching her on a mission, I think that's the most memorable game I've seen her play, and one of the most memorable games in women's soccer, full stop.
Yeah, I was at that game as well. Teammate Melissa Tancredi said that after that 2012 Olympic semi-final defeat to the US, it was Sinclair who said, "Keep your heads up. I love this team. We've got a bronze medal to win and I'm not leaving here without one." Does that kind of summarise her mentality?
Yeah, that's just, Captain Christine Sinclair. She doesn't have a lot of words to say. She's quiet. She's humble. But, in that locker room, talking to her teammates, inspiring them, when she has something to say, people listen because she means a lot and they understand the impact and how she carries herself. So when she said that, well, whoa, we better go get a bronze medal. We better not mess about here. And so I think her comments and what she does, people take notice, and I think it's a powerful thing that she has.
The team has obviously gone through plenty of ups and downs in Sinclair's time with them. The 2015 defeat to England in the quarterfinals, for example. I'm not just bringing that up because we're an English football podcast, but because it was, of course,
you are. Come on.
It was a home World Cup for them. Is her resilience and consistency throughout all of those kind of moments the most impressive thing about her?
I wouldn't say it's the most impressive thing. I say it's one of the great things about her. She's rarely missed games due to injury, health. She's always available for Canada. I know in the latter years, maybe she's not started as many games as she has previously, but she's always, put up her hand and say, I'm going to represent my country. So I think being healthy and fit for 2 decades, it really has helped her carry herself and represent Canada. So it's a remarkable thing. I think we've all seen injuries, ACL injuries in women's soccer. So to have her healthy and being available and representing Canada, it's something we don't see a lot, and I don't think we will see going forward. So it's certainly impressive, but not the most impressive thing.
Yeah, many, many impressive attributes for sure. We've seen another giant of international football step down recently in Megan Rapinoe. And obviously they were both leaders in their national teams, but in very different ways, right? Like, how would you describe Sinclair's maybe style of leadership?
I would say they're both powerful leaders, but, in the media and the fans being out there, they're very different. They're very opposite. Megan Rapinoe is, at an event or she's on TV. You'll know about it. You'll hear about it. You'll see her. Or Christine Sinclair is more quiet. She keeps to herself. But they're both very strong female athletes, and they both represented their countries very well. Obviously, they played together in Portland in university, so they've known each other for a long time, going back decades. So very similar. They both, they're both very vocal leaders inside the locker room, and I think it's going to be great to see how Canada honors Christine in her final game. We saw what happened with Megan Rapinoe, with OL Reign in the U.S. national team, but I think Canada is going to do something similar, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. She was, of course, very vocal when Canada's players went on strike earlier this year over equity issues and funding cuts, testified before a House of Commons committee and reiterated her criticism after their World Cup exit in the summer as well. You touched on it earlier on, but tell us more maybe about her impact off the pitch in that respect.
Yeah, I think it's huge because, like we said, she doesn't do a lot of media. She doesn't like to put herself out there. But when she was in the House of Commons and lending her voice, that was a top story in this country. It's Christine Sinclair going to Ottawa and telling the Canada Soccer, you better shape up. And it really meant a lot. And it was quite powerful. And seeing what she said going into the World Cup and at the World Cup, people have taken note that, people want to see changes with Canada Soccer. And when someone like Christine Sinclair says what she did, people notice that and they want to help with funding. They want to make sure it's a better place for the next generation of female athletes in the national team. So I don't think it's done. I think we'll see more from Christine Sinclair in regards to that going forward because she makes a big difference. She makes an impact. And, when she does that, people want to see better changes.
Do you think with her leaving, how are the team kind of placed with that? Do you think she'll kind of still be involved in that fight despite not playing for the national team anymore? Or do you think there's other leaders that will step up as well?
There's certainly other leaders. I look at Janine Becky. She's very vocal. Obviously, she's not been playing as she rehabs her knee injury. But there's certainly players on the national team who have leadership qualities, who will step up. And I think we'll still see a little bit of Sinclair, but I don't know what her role will be or what she's going to do post-retirement. Obviously, she's going to stay with Portland for another year. There's been some discussion. Will she join maybe Bev Pressman's staff maybe a little bit, or is she going to coach, maybe be a GM? I think it's up to her, so we'll see what she decides. I don't think she's going to be doing podcasts or broadcasting with the pundits. I can't see that, but she'll have a lot of opportunities, of course, and so I think she'll decide what she wants to do after her career in Portland.
She said, probably in typical Sinclair fashion, that she wanted to just walk off and not say a word and just be done after the Olympic qualifiers. But she's been persuaded into something of a farewell tour, which you touched on. The second game against Australia is due to be held at BC Place in Vancouver, which I've been to, great stadium, and not far from Sinclair's home city of Burnaby. What kind of occasion do you think that's going to be?
Yeah, I like the fact that she just thought she would just go quietly into the evening. Oh, I'm done playing now. Good luck, guys. See you later. No, there's no chance of that happening. Obviously, there would be a send-off game. Of course, there would be a send-off game in Vancouver. The tickets are going really well. 35,000 sold so far. They don't usually open up the Upper Bowl for the Whitecaps games where they play there. So it's going to be a massive crowd. They're going to honor Erin McLeod as well, and Sophie Schmidt's going to come back. She's going to play in that game for her last final game, and Christine said that, Sophie's her best friend, so obviously going out with your best friend is going to be wonderful. BC Place has just announced today they are going to change the name to Christine Sinclair Place just for that one day, so
love that.
That's going to be huge. I know a lot of people are coming in for the game. A lot of her former teammates will be there. And I don't know if people listeners know, but I believe Christine will be launching her own charity maybe the next day. So keep an eye on that. And that's some news. But yeah, it's going to be massive to have that game in Vancouver and also in Langford. They're going to be playing Australia on Friday. So 2 big games to honor Christine and Aaron and Sophie Schmidt. So it's going to be massive, and it's well-deserved for sure.
Yeah, I do actually. I love the way both in America and Canada that you do proper send-offs for your heroes. It's only right. Is it fair to say, without Christine Sinclair, that women's football in Canada would look nothing like it does today?
Oh, it's a true statement, 100%. I don't know that they have 1 bronze, 2 bronze, even a gold medal, because she has inspired, Fleming and the likes of Grosso and Heidema I mentioned. If they're not seeing Christine play on this team for decades, are they picking up a soccer ball? Are they wanting to play, football for Canada? I don't know. So definitely, if there's no Christine Sinclair, is there even a Canada national team program with all the budget cuts and all the financial challenges behind the scenes? So definitely she's inspired a country, as I mentioned, and she's paved the way for so many athletes in this country. So it's immense to see her playing for the 2 decades, and Canada will certainly honor her, and it will be fantastic, hopefully. Hopefully she scores a goal. Well, how awesome would that be?
Unbelievable. That would be the perfect send-off. I think actually just having you on to talk about her has been the perfect way to kind of sum up her career as well, because you've given us a real flavour of her impact and the longevity of her career, both on and off the pitch. So I think you've done an excellent job, Har. Thank you very much for joining us.
No problem. Thank you very much for having me. Great to see you.